Just want to do a real quick video showing how simple it can be to locate wild edibles around your house or in an area that isn't out in the woods or out on the trail. There are just so many things you can find just in your yard. So I'm going to take you on a short walk, just ID some wild edibles. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them. The point is how many we can find in a short amount of time. So let's go take a look and see. Just came off my porch. And right here we have a thistle. And I have yet to eat thistle. I go a little slowly with the process from IDing to actually consuming, but it is a wild edible. Right next to it we have burdock. This is a small burdock plant. The stems of the leaves are edible, the petioles, the stalks can be edible, like the shoots of it, and then the roots are edible. Next to that we have dandelion. I'm not a huge fan of the leaves. I find them bitter, but they are edible. I have eaten them. I'm a bigger fan of the flowers. I find them much milder. They are tasty. I mean, I like putting them on salads and whatnot, but it's a good wild edible. If you find one that hasn't been in the sun a lot, I find they're less bitter. Right next to that, we have down here some wood sorrel. And I really like wood sorrel. It's a nice wild edible. It's mild, got a lemony flavor. Next to that, see if I can put like a 1 foot spot here. Wild carrot, right here, wild carrot. Now, wild carrot scares some people, and you should be cautious when you forage, but it's very generally simple to differentiate between poison hemlock and wild carrot. Wild carrot has hairs on the stem. The leaf structure is generally different, although very young. Poison hemlock can look somewhat like wild carrot from the leaf structure, but it doesn't have hairs on the stem, tends to have a little bit more purple on the stem. But do your homework. I'm not saying not to be cautious, but it's not as terrifying as people make it out to be. Right here we have sheep sorrel. I love sheep sorrel. It's a good wild edible. It's got a nice lemony flavor, and I just like it during the day. I nibble on it. It has a nice cooling effect to it. Right there we have some white clover. I'm not a big clover fan. I haven't tried clover, but there are other edibles I want to try first, but I do know it is clover and I can ID it. All right, let's go right here. Some common plantain. There's another white clover plant with a flower right there too. And right here in my lawn, we have some, shadows are in the way, chicory. And I haven't tried chicory. I've read that it's really bitter. I'm not really into bitter plants, but I mean, some people like it, particularly like the roots of the crown of the plant. Right here, the camera will cooperate, is, I don't know what chickweed species this is. This is a Stellaria. I think it's Stellaria media, but I'm not 100% sure, but you can tell it's a chickweed based on the flowers there. The white flowers that look like they have 10 petals, they actually have 5. That are split in half. I did this video once already and it didn't turn out because the camera had rotated, so I can walk up to this one right away and know where it is and what it is. But this is wild mint. I believe it is a spearmint. It's a rogue one. It's not one that was planted. And it is edible, and also you can make a tea out of it. And right over here, got milkweed. Stalks are edible, as are the pods and the flowers. And right here we have goldenrod, which you can make a tea out of. I have not super interested in that, but you know. Here we have wild blackberries, one of the rubus species. Come on over here. We have a wild rose. I believe it's a sweet briar rose, but I'm not 100% sure. You can tell based on the leaf structure that's the rose, the thorns as well. These little, they're not thorns, but just on the petiole there, the little lines that come out. These blossoms that have bloomed and been pollinated will turn into rose hips, which are a good edible. All right, let's see what else we have. There's more blackberry. Here, this is some kind of dock right here. See that right there, that leaf? I don't know which kind of dock it is, but it's one of the rumex species. now, more blackberry. Let's head over this way. We've got some daisy, which is also, the leaves are edible. Right over here, we have some red clover, which is also edible like white clover. I used to sometimes confuse this guy for it. This is not an edible, it's crown vetch. It's a pretty flower, but definitely not a clover. Alright, and then over here, we bend on down, we've got garlic mustard, another good edible. I'm not a huge fan of the leaves. I like the stalks personally, the young stalks, but the leaves are edible. They're a little on the bitter side for my taste. Like I said, I did this walk once already, so if I'm just like seeming like I show up at these places instead of having to kind of look around, it's because I just did this already. Alright, we've got some kind of cherry tree here, which will produce cherries. It doesn't have any blossoms or buds or any inflorescence or anything like that on it, so I can't really tell what kind of cherry it is. And walk down here, we're going to come up to a wild apple tree. Right there, you can see facing the leaves. And if that's not enough, I don't know if you can see the bark. That's too dark back in there. It's a good way to ID it as well. I find apple bark has a very distinctive look. It does look similar to elm bark though. Alright, staghorn sumac. You can tell by the compound leaves and also by the little shaggy hair on it. Serrated compound leaves and pinnately compound. Anyway, it's a good wild edible. The stalks can be eaten, the young stalks, or young shoots as well, and also the seeds are edible. I think I covered milkweed already, but I did want to show you this guy. This guy's a funky looking milkweed. It's a milkweed, but the leaves are off color, they're curled up. In this general area here on my property, these milkweeds just get jacked up. I'm not really sure what the cause is. I mean, look at this guy, this milkweed. What's up with that? It is a milkweed, I'm 100% sure on that. And it's not necessarily, it could be it doesn't appear to be a species difference. I mean, it is common milkweed based on the pods that these things produce, but the leaves are just very strange. The flowers are the same, the pods are the same. It's almost like it's some mutation or something. Anyway, if any of you know what's up with that, let me know, but there's a normal milkweed to compare it to. Alright, so we're over here, and we have, we have a wild lettuce. It looks like blue lettuce to me, right there. And mullein, which is also a wild edible and a medicinal and great for friction fire. We have, let me take a look at this guy. Are you raspberry? You're raspberry. You look like raspberry. Some raspberry shoots there, although these two back leaves to me look like it might be blackberry. It's a root. It's a rubus. And now this is, yeah, this guy's a raspberry right here. I don't know, these guys, let's take a closer look. But this guy right here is definitely raspberry. All right, more blue lettuce. And some pokeweed. I've seen this called a lot of different things. Scratch bed straw. That's what I've seen it as in some books, but a lot of the common names are not actually common names. They're just assigned. It's actually an interesting story about the term giraffe spots for a plant that Gary Linkoff made up. about it. Well, it wasn't a plant, it was actually a crust fungus, and it looked like giraffe spots to him, so what did he call it? He called it giraffe spots. There's some more wild raspberry here. Some fleabane daisy back there, which is also an edible. I think I pointed out daisies already, but it's getting a little confusing at this point what I've covered and what I haven't. There is some autumn olive. You can tell by the shiny undersides of the leaves, elliptical shape, silver spots on top, silver on the bottom. It's going to make some red fruits with silver spots. They are going to be edible. One more in case I didn't say it already. Prickly lettuce over here. Sorry for the walking and jostling the camera. Where are you at, prickly lettuce? I just saw you. Ah. Here you are. And a prickly lettuce right there. So, yeah, some more right over here. Anyway, just a short walk, just on my property, not going anywhere special. And we found, I'll have to count after the video's over, but at least a dozen, if not more, wild edibles. There's another dandelion flower. I'm gonna have to pick that guy and eat it. But anyway, just wanted to show you that you can get out into nature. You can find wild edibles, and anywhere I look around, like I just pan the camera, there's more plantain, clover. It's everywhere. So get out, take a walk, find something, grab a book, or use an app that you trust, use several, learn to ID some plants. You'll be amazed what you can eat from just your yard. All right, hope you guys enjoy. Thanks.